What's up, guys?
What's up?
You might have to introduce yourselves because you guys have kind of a digital platform where you guys aren't often out and seen like some of my other guests have been.
Yeah.
But today we have on two of the moderators of Cambridge's finest, Bunny and Jeremy. We'll just introduce yourselves first. Talk a little bit about what you do other than Cambridge's finest, and then we're going to jump right in.
All right. Well, I'm Bunny. I'm the admin. I created Cambridge Finest. I don't really. I have Cambridge Finest as my hobby, and then I have my kids. So I'm a mom outside of Cambridge Finest, where I get all my time to improve things all day.
Awesome. That's great, Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy Hill. I'm a moderator. I came in a little later because Bunny needed some help with the influx of posts that needed approval. So she brought me in to help, and I've made it a home since then.
That's great.
Yeah, we love Jeremy.
That is great. Yeah. So I didn't hear about Cambridge's Finest really until I was ready to move back, which was sometime last summer is when I really started thinking about it. So let's start off with the conception. How in the world did this thing start? What possessed you to start this?
I was literally it was, I think, right before or right after Christmas. And I was like, dude, I'm so bored. Literally, I'm so bored. I feel like I need to talk to people. Because, I'm not a person that goes out and makes friends like that. I'm not a person. So I was like, I wonder if any of my friends would be interested in joining this Cambridge group. And there's nothing around here for that. We don't get, you see Zanesville's Finest. Love Zanesville's Finest, by the way. But, you see them, and you get the news all day, what's happening all day on there. And I'm like, we don't have anything for our town. I don't know what's going on in town. So I was bored, and was like, this could be fun. And I didn't expect it to go to where it is, but that's where it is.
We'll talk about where it is now, because it is wild.
That's it.
So just an idea born out of some boredom.
I seen Zanesville's Finest one day, and I was like, this will be fun. I'm bored. And click the button. It was over. People wanted to, it was over.
It's too easy to make a Facebook page nowadays.
That is awesome. Well, this is a question that came from my wife.
Okay.
And I want you all to describe to people who may not have any idea about what Cambridge's Finest is, how would you describe this group? What is it?
You want to go first this time?
I would probably describe it as like a community circus where there's all different kinds of performances, and it's just
characters.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of realness, a little bit of funny, drama, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Cambridge's Finest is a place where, everyone's welcome in, for the most part. Everyone's welcome in, you don't have to be approved to get in, nothing like that. So people from all over the place come in. And I think it's literally, like you said, it's a circus. It's informational. There's a lot of information on there that you can find. I share things about wrecks or events or whatever like that. And then there's also just BS all the time on top of it. So it's kind of I'd say it's more for the younger generation that like to add a little pizzazz to their day while getting their news at the same time, But it's a lot of drama and a lot of just random people spewing everything they have on their mind, which is welcome in moderation. Us.
I love it's. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a mixture of your town bulletin with like you said, news, actual informational, helpful stuff, and then just random chaos. The circus.
We love the little sprinkle of circus.
Yeah, and that's what makes it fun. I know when I moved back into town, I was living with my dad for a little while. My wife, my son, and my dog on a little tiny room at my dad's house. And every night, the topic of conversation was, did you see X post on Cambridge's Finest? And, I love, social media has its ups and downs and its pros and cons. I love when social media can lead to real conversation
Yep.
outside and offline.
Yes.
And for me, Cambridge's Finest does that a ton.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just hearing it, just being out. My husband was in Circle K the other day getting some pop, and he heard somebody in line talking about Cambridge Finest, not knowing that that's my husband or anything. I'm just like, that's crazy. It's crazy that it's just, you just go out and hear it.
Yeah.
IRL conversation, and then obviously digital, just all over the place.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Okay, well, where are we now in terms of followers? Did you guys look recently? Because I looked this morning. I know the number.
So I think it said 2.3 or 20.3 and or 20.2, one of the two.
Yeah.
It grows very fast, like every day. It's a different number.
That's 20,300 people in a Facebook group,
Yeah.
if that wasn't clear enough.
My bad.
And just to remind everyone, this is called Cambridge's Finest. There's only like 11,000 people that live in Cambridge.
Yeah.
So why do you think, I mean, I will say, having grown up a lot outside of Cambridge, Eastern Guernsey County, we still call Cambridge home
Right.
over there.
Mhm.
I think everyone who lives in Guernsey County kind of feels like Cambridge is home.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that you're pulling in from the rest of the county.
Yeah.
But you said that you have people coming in from out of state.
Yes. Like families. They're like, my daughter lives there, or I used to live there when I was a kid. And I'm just like, and you got these old, like really sweet elderly people. And they're like, hi, I joined this group because like see what's going on. My daughter lives there. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, like, you poor lady.
Oh God. Well, another aspect of Cambridge's Finest that I really like and enjoy is that there are cultural inside jokes that are developing.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you want to go through some of those, like some of the lingo? Like, I'll tell you, I'm still catching up on some of them. Like, people will drop these inside jokes, and I'm like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I know it's an inside joke, but I actually don't know the punchline. Like,
There's been a lot of them. Like, obviously, everyone knows Steve's Yard. Steve's Yard. There's not a lot of lore behind it. Steve just likes his yard. Steve isn't here, but
We were gonna have
Sorry.
the interview in Steve's yard, but
Steve's busy. He's
he's
a
got
busy man.
like a fence up, so.
yeah. And it's May, we can't predict the weather. We
Yeah.
would have been perfect. It's
Always
beautiful
fun.
out, but yeah.
Always won't.
Yeah. Steve's Yard.
There's a stop sign.
The stop sign. That had its own Facebook page.
Yeah, it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That was fun. I liked that. I wanted to go do something special with the sign, and then it kind of died off. So I was like, okay, I'll leave it alone. But everybody still remembers the stop sign if they came in, early enough. Which it really wasn't that long ago, like 6 months ago. That whole thing was like in motion. But there's a lot of inside jokes, a lot of stuff that like I don't even remember. But then I'll see it, I'll read it, and be like, oh yeah, that happened. It's ridiculous. I love it though. I love the inside jokes. I love that there's like we feel kind of connected through all these jokes that we all know.
Yeah. It brings a group. It brings the group closer together when you have that kind of stuff going on.
For sure.
All right. So I'm an attorney. I want to get a little philosophical, of course.
Okay.
You guys aren't going to get out here without some like deeper, more thoughtful questions on this.
Fantastic.
Part of the drama with Cambridge's Finest is literally just the existence of the group itself.
Yep.
I'm sure you all are well aware. I've talked to community members that think it's terrible. I've talked to members that think it's the best thing ever. Does it even matter?
I think it does matter in a sense that, like I said, we didn't have anything to connect us all together, like everybody that lives here. So I think that's important, and I've people give away things to each other, people help each other all the time.
I want to talk about that too.
Okay, I'll hold off on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's good or bad. Obviously, some stuff comes from it, but I think a lot of the good is that stuff gets said. People can voice their concerns, and others, mostly who they want to see it, will see it for the most part. They're usually in there, or somebody tells them about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't always at the click of a button express these concerns. It takes a while to get through, or you gotta get an email back, or whatever. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that I'm like, that's important. I'm glad that that could get out there or whatever. Now bad, sure. There's bad. There's, you know, stuff I have to decline all the time. You know, there's a lot of drama, a lot of unnecessary stuff. But at the same time, you can't pick and choose. Like, if this person has a story they want to get out, okay, and if this person has another story they want to get out, but it's a little less, it's a little more, not violent, but like, I don't know how to explain it. It's
aggressive.
Aggressive, yes. It's a little more aggressive, it's a little worded differently, and it's just like, we can't pick and choose. Like, you know, if this person has this one person has this one, they're just worded differently, or it's not like completely formal and, you know, whatever. You still gotta accept it. You know, people are angry, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And not everybody can feel equal, but you gotta try a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we get posts that need approved, I like to step back and look at it through an unbiased lens. Like, it doesn't matter if I like what the person says. Is it relevant? Is it something that people would like to see? So sometimes I approve posts that I don't necessarily agree with, but I think that in order to be fair, I have to kind of step back and put my own personal views away and say, would people like to see this? Is this relevant? Is it going to help? Is it going to? So that goes through. It's what I go through when I try to approve.
There's a lot of thinking when it comes to it on certain things. We have to think a lot. Be like I have to ask for my husband. I'm like, should I approve this? I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's rough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on all the time.
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, the volume of posts that do come through, I can't imagine the volume of posts you guys are actually seeing.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're racking up right now.
Yeah. Sorry to your future selves.
When we get back to week 20, we'll just figure it out.
Just tell Steve he needs to be approving right now. Like,
Luckily, we all have different schedules, so like I work a swing shift, so I can look at posts at night and get, like, if people post, I can approve them at night, and that way there's not like a giant pile in the morning, and it's just, I think it helps to keep the post flowing, and
Yeah, it works out pretty well with our schedules.
I generally think that Cambridge's Finest is a fantastic platform.
Oh.
I really do. And I told you guys this off camera. I've told my family, like, when I'm thinking about the most influential influences in Guernsey County right now, culturally, it's hard to think of anything that is more influential right now than Cambridge's Finest. Which is a weird, I know, like, that has to be weird on your end, and a weird thing to hear. It's a weird thing for me to say. I'm talking about a Facebook group.
Right.
Like, but you can't escape it. And so, if you can't escape it, then how could you not claim that it's incredibly influential? And for the most part, good. Like you said, one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about today was you have been, despite constant feedback on Cambridge's Finest, you've been very adamant about letting many requests for money, items, help in general come through. Like, why, despite the criticism? Why do you continue to do that?
You can't pick and choose, and I feel like everybody, especially in this area, needs a little help. You know, we've all struggled. I struggle. You know, it's not, I'm just a person. I don't, you know, I struggle as well with just, you know, putting food on the table. Like, we get it done, but it's in this area, it's rough. And I just, you know, if there's someone that I'm like, I can't pick and choose, who's scamming someone and who's not, who really needs help. I can't pick and choose. Like, and I continue to allow it because there's nowhere else to ask for, you know, resources. Sure, you can look it up on Google, but not everybody's good at that. Not everybody can look it up on Google and understand what they're seeing.
Not everyone falls into those categories.
Right. So, you know, asking the community for help, having a place to do that, I think is great. And I'll keep allowing it. You know, people get upset. I see people asking for handouts every day, and I'm like, you know, if you want to help them, you help them. If you don't, you don't, and you move on. That's fine. They're asking for a favor. You have the right to say yes or no.
I
Absolutely.
mean, if 10 people ask for help, 9 of them don't really need the help, and 1 person really does. At the end of the day, someone got help that really needed it, and it's just up to the people that are, giving their resources to kind of judge, who, do a little background and see, like, okay, they look like they really need help.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Sometimes it's not really, you can't go by looks, you just have to like kind of go by your heart. And
It was several of the people I've seen that have received help on there.
Mhm.
It has been like a heartening experience to see our community like stand up and help
Mhm.
someone else. And I hate it when people, are criticizing, saying people are asking for handouts. Because like you said, okay, then just don't worry about it. Don't help them. But like, I am so glad that is there and that you continue to allow it, because my wife and I just personally oftentimes want to be able to help people, but if you're in that position where you can and you want to, sometimes it's hard to find the best way to have the most direct and impactful help.
Right.
And oftentimes that is literally just taking someone a pack of diapers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Something.
did that recently.
Yeah.
You help out where you can, and I like to, the people that do help, sometimes they don't have the best intentions either. Sometimes the people that do help, they want to set all these stipulations
Mhm.
on their help. And it's
Mhm.
just like, I feel if you're gonna help somebody, if you wanna help somebody, just do it, no strings attached, just help somebody.
Yep.
That's how I feel about it, and, it's not always the people that need help trying to scam people,
Yep.
sometimes the other way around.
Yeah, no, I totally want to just the recording. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, no, it's one of, that's where like, to me, any negative that comes from Cambridge's Finest is completely outweighed by like the 6 people that get help per month or whatever on the platform, or the information that comes through on a current event that's happening. Like I said, and at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter if it's good or bad. It just exists. It's just there. Yeah.
And good comes of it, bad comes of it, and honestly, that's all up to the people.
Yeah.
They decide if good or bad's gonna come of it. I just kind of moderate it and stick to my rules for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Certain things I won't allow, certain things I do, and we have to decline a lot of different things. A lot of different things. Sometimes it's just all up to there are some situations where I have to pick, and it's like I feel like a judge. Like I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to have to be like, I have to make this person see if I can approve this or not, and like it's a yes, it doesn't break the rules, but at the same time, it'll be grimy or dirty or something, and I'm like,
Yeah. Is it driving forward the conversation?
right. There's a lot of that, and that's behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yeah.
They don't see all the things that I don't let through.
That's that is one of the I can't. It's just the stuff that does come through. I'm like, goodness, I can't imagine what did get approved. I'm sure there's some stuff that you've seen that you wish you could unsee.
Oh yeah, and I see everybody's names, so I'm just like, oh, this is a lot. So this isn't in your best, interest.
Yeah.
And there's some things like that where it's like, I see the post and I'm like, that's not gonna go well for them. But again, you can't always pick and choose. And you have to let them live and learn. It's like a toddler. You learn just by doing.
Yeah.
So it is what it is sometimes.
Yeah. What do you think, or what is your long-term goal of Cambridge's Finest now? You've had a year and a half. It's taken off like a rocket ship. What do you want to see happen with it? What do you want to see people do with it, with the platform that you guys are essentially, you guys are offering to people a captive audience of 20,000 people. What, or more, and growing. What do you want to do with that?
I just, I like where it is. I like that we're kind of a community.
Mm-hmm.
I like that there's that pizzazz in there. I really enjoy where it's at. I don't, if it gets any, I don't want it to become too formal. I don't want it to become too, this is only a help page. I like where it is. I like that it's real. I like that it's not like sugar coated and just flowers and unicorns and just like, hey, this is great. Come look at this. That's fine. There's groups that do that. That's fine. You guys do you guys approve, decline, whatever you want. I understand. But ours just has a little bit more chaos, and I think the town is a lot of chaos that we don't see. Before this group, I feel like we didn't see half the chaos in this town. And now it's like right there and we see it. So I'm kind of comfortable with that, So that's where I hope that it stays.
I like that. I would say that 70% of the posts are help, whether it be people looking for items or people helping with information about like jobs or
Opinions on attorneys are a hot topic.
The other day I asked a question about some metal roofing. I didn't know where the what kind of options were available around here, so I was like, well, I'm gonna put it out in the group. There's a lot of people in the area that probably know about construction materials, so I got a lot of good answers, and that's the part I love the most about it, is the helping, like whether it be
Right there.
yeah, and it's like it's community. It's like this area of focus, so a lot of people know, like if a lady needs help with like the Social Security office or something, there's someone in this area that knows how to get a hold of them, or
They've been through it or whatever.
where to direct her focus, that way she can get the help. It's just, that's my favorite part about it, is just the helping.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you knew this, but we did a grocery giveaway not too long ago, and that was
great. I felt that was a really good idea.
Bunny, Steve, and myself. It was our, we funded it 100%, and I just love being able to give back and help some people with it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the only groceries that they could get for the week or whatever, but I like it.
Those have all been handed out, by the way. I didn't update you, but those are all taken care of now. Yeah. Out there.
Live update.
Yep.
No, that's great. I think there's a ton of things you could do with something like what you've created.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've thought about like how you could monetize it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think there's pros and cons to that. And that, that's all for you all to decide. But I personally think that like we have a lot of important local elections coming up in the next 3 to 4 years. I think we're going to see a candidate that figures out a way to use Cambridge's finest in a way that conforms with the rules of Cambridge's finest to connect with people and win. I mean, and it has to be crazy for you all to think about that, like that.
That's where we are.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like I said, it's a captive audience of 20,000 people. Like if you want to get in front of the eyes of people in Cambridge, like
that's where you go.
it's the easiest way.
Yeah.
It's captive. I don't know if you guys have talked about the rules around what that's going to look like, but like.
I didn't think about that until just now.
So just dropping that in. Well, like I said, I'm an attorney. I think about policy and theoretical, silly stuff that other people shouldn't have to think about. But that's when I look at that, I'm like, someone's going to use this in an appropriate way within your rules.
Right. Yeah. We're a no politics group because it's all over the place. So. If you want your politics, you can just open your phone to a different page, it'll be there.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be interesting to see if anyone tries to get a workaround, figure that out.
Well, there's some things now that are political that aren't political.
Yes.
Like I posted a statement that was very much apolitical in talking about the negative mindset that people have about Cambridge.
Yes.
And a lot of the comments that came back ended up delving into political and policy issues.
Right.
And so I think that's just going to happen.
Yeah, I try to keep it. I try to keep that low.
Yeah.
it depends, and it really depends on what we're talking about. Because small town stuff, whatever, but once we get into the bigger stuff, it gets insane. And that's just not something that I want the group to have. Like, it gets insane with politics. And I'm just like, this is kind of supposed to be, I wouldn't say it's a safe place because there's a lot of BS in there. But, it's like a break from that world.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I know people will talk about like policies and stuff that affect the Cambridge area, which that's fine. But when you start getting like broader, like nationwide level, there's other places for people to get that information, and it's a lot of times very divisive, and it creates more problems than.
Yes. It does.
It ends up being a shouting match, and no one wins. So.
Yeah, and I don't think the people that I've heard from, and I'm sure the people you hear from, those are the posts that they have seen, and those are the ones that turn them off from the platform in general. But they're so few and far between because you guys do a good job of like, I can see where this one's gonna go.
Every time.
Yeah, and so a lot of that stuff doesn't make it on there, but you're like. There are local issues that make it on there.
Yes.
And I feel like that is something, like, coming back all the way to the beginning of this, a good platform to discuss those issues has been greatly lacking in our community for a long time.
Yes.
Like with the Daily Jeffersonian becoming part of this huge enterprise now and not really a local newspaper, and the Guernsey News just kind of getting off the ground. There's not even a newspaper where you can go read until this year what happened at city council meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know Steve is always pressing about the city council meetings, which is fine, that's great. But like for someone like me, I'm not gonna go to a council meeting. I'm not that person to go and stand up and speak in front of the council, and I'm just not. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way. Like I feel like it's easier for them to just open their phone and be like, okay, like what do we need to talk about?
Yep.
Because there are a lot of, people like Steve on the council meeting that see all that stuff, and they don't have to go and stand up in front of a circle of people and voice their concerns. Cause I wouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't like to do that. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that also feel the same way.
Yeah. And that's where I think like Cambridge Finance could be playing a role in the future. Whether you want to, whether you like it or not, I feel like it's just gonna naturally happen, even on posts that seem like they're not gonna be political at all, that are talking about.
It always seems to seep in.
It does, and we try to handle it, but and the comments we don't get notifications for. We don't get notification for every comment. How hard that would be. We don't have comment approval on. That would be insane.
Only if something gets reported.
Yeah. And people expect us to see every single comment, every single one. There's a lot, and we're 3 people, and we're busy people. Like I said, I'm a mom, so I'm constantly running around with my kids and taking care of them. And it's just, we can't see everything.
Yeah.
We try our best. I go through at least every single post, but I can't go through the hundreds of comments.
Yeah.
And people get mad at me because, they'll be like, oh, this wasn't okay, but you let this slide, and I'm just like, I didn't even see it, buddy. Like you can hold the thing down and push report to admins and I would see it. That's the only way that I really, you can guarantee that I'm gonna see something.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. You can't win all.
No. Yeah, it's that's just another one of those things. Like with 20,000 people and all those comments, I just can't. I don't know how you guys even. You have to have the approach that you have, where it's just like I'm gonna have to rely on the community as a whole to kind of govern themselves.
They have to play a part too. They also have a job in this. If they want it to run as smoothly as we try to make it run.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that's been on your guys' mind about Cambridge's Finest that you wanted to get out there? You guys have the platform, you can just put it out there anytime you want, but
I will say, anonymous posting, it's not going away. I promise you. That stays.
We were, I was gonna head there next, but, okay, What's the philosophy behind that? Why is that so important to you? I mean, I get the sense of what you're gonna say just based on what we talked about, but
Well, the heartfelt answer to that would be some people really need help without their name out there. Like I always bring up, some people have like domestic violence cases and stuff like that. They need help with. A lot of people need help with that kind of stuff, especially around here. I feel like there's a lot of it, and a lot that we don't know about.
yeah.
So, and we get that sometimes. We get anonymous posters that are like, listen, I need help with this or whatever, and it's like, it's heartbreaking, but I'm glad that there's a place for them to do it without the names being out there. And then, the less heartfelt version is, if the anonymous posters were turned off, there would be less BS in there. And that's just the truth. Like, I like to see things going. I like to see things rolling and the drama and everything. Sorry, I just kicked you. But, if there was an anonymous posting, then people would be less likely to talk about what they went through today, or less likely to talk about how they feel wronged by a fast food chain, and I'm just like, I want to see what's going on, and the way I see what's going on, people don't like their names attached to things, whether it's because of their job, or their family, or just in general, they're private people. I want to know what's going on. That's the whole point. That was the whole point. I want to know what's going on around town.
Yeah.
And anonymous posting really brings that out. It helps with that. So if it gets taken away, then I swear half of our posts they just get cut in half, and it's less fun.
Yeah.
And the thing with anonymous posts, they're not truly anonymous. The moderators and Bunny and we all can see who posts anonymously. So if there was ever a situation where like somebody needed help, like if they're basically a cry for help, we can step in and make a decision to contact somebody that can help them. And on the adverse, if they're posting anonymously for nefarious reasons, we can stop that too, and we can message them privately, say, hey, we see who you are. You're not getting away with this, so
Yeah, pretty
quit trying to get this approved. So, and we do monitor the anonymous posters and handle it accordingly. So
Yeah.
you're not getting nothing over on us.
No. And it's only us three that can see it. For
Yeah.
anyone wondering, it's only us three that can see it. Me, Jeremy, and Steve. And we never give out any information to anyone. I get hounded all the time.
Sure.
Of like, you need to tell me who this is. I think it's this. I need to know who this is right now. And I'm like, sorry, dude. They're like, can you at least give me a hint? No. Can you tell me if it's a guy or girl? No. Can you tell me the first letter of their name? No. No. I get hounded all the time. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you any information.
People.
And I don't even refer to them as him or her when,
They.
just them. When I'm in the comments, I'm like, well, they were just asking for this. I try to keep it very, very low key as I can.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. There's always controversy. I see people going after each other as anonymous, and just going back and forth. And
The best part about that is that sometimes it's people that I know are friends. And they're fighting in the comments. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what's going on. You're fighting right now. It's hilarious. I've seen like best friends that I just know are best friends are always together. And I'm just like, okay, well, just gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. Good luck, guys.
how about to be a fly on the wall when that conversation comes up of, did you see the two people? That was me. And
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, that was, like, you think that way? Like, I wish I could hear this conversation. I thought about that a lot.
oh my gosh, yeah, it's. I saw your post recently about that because there was someone who had recently just complained about anonymous posting. Your answer is exactly what I expected. Like, it contributes to the chaos, which is part of the adventure and the fun, but also it allows real conversation for people who are maybe just a little bit scared.
People ask me and ask us to be like, can you stop letting people that want things as anonymous posts? Can you pick and choose which people get to be anonymous? And I'm just like, no. Like, just simply, I don't have enough time in my day to go through and say, this person can post anonymous, this one can't, this one, like, it's, and it's so much work already. I'm just not willing to do that. And like I said, I don't like being a judge. I don't like picking and choosing who gets to do what, unless it's like against rules or something. It's not, I don't like that. I have to do it sometimes, and I don't like doing it. But with anonymous postings, whatever, just do it. I don't care who's anonymous and who's not. It doesn't matter to me they have their own reasons.
Yeah.
That's none of my business. Truly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also, part of this podcast is also trying to get people to know the person behind the out-facing you. So, in some ways, this is your day job, is the moderator
Yeah,
of
it
this.
is that I don't get paid for.
Yeah, but you don't get paid for it,
Yep.
which you need to figure out. You put in way too much work.
I've been sold.
You put in way too much work. I know you want to keep the integrity. There's probably a way to do it.
Yeah.
You can probably
there
figure it
probably
out.
is, but I worry that it becomes an ad because we already have self-promo Sundays,
I know.
and that's
I've been turned down several times for that. It's okay.
in the comments themselves.
Oh, well, not in the comments, no.
See, did you read the rules?
Well, I did read the rules. There's been a couple times where I didn't think it was self-promo, I'll be honest.
Happens a lot.
I tried to post a couple informational articles that I had written, but because I am an attorney and they offer legal information, I think that it was considered self-promotion. I get it. It's right on that borderline of in some ways, it is a little bit self-promoting, but also I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to get information out there. So I had no hard feelings. I was like, I get it, and it's fine.
That's sometimes a toss up too. I'm sure you've seen it too, where it's some things.
Usually we just redirect them to, when there's an option when we deny a post to specify what rule was broken or why it was not approved. And if it's a self-promotion thing, I'll click the
Self-promo Sunday.
the self-promo Sunday, and then they can post accordingly on Sunday.
Yeah, and I am not taking very good advantage of the self-promo Sunday comments thing. Just a lot. I'm worried. Look, we've been sitting here for 40 minutes and I'm still rambling and talking to you guys. So that's how my posts are too.
I mean, that's all we are.
Yeah.
We just talk. That's what it is.
But I also want to know, Jeremy, you didn't tell, what do you do for a living? You work swing shifts, but you didn't even tell us what you do for a living.
I work at Colgate, the soap factory.
Cool.
So, slinging soap all the time.
Yeah.
You have to deal on soaps.
Yeah.
So that gives me the flexibility with times and stuff. I can, I can approve a few messages on my break, or
And you get some done overnight for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I think I have a good understanding of why you're involved, because you kind of put your heart out here and told us really, but why, what's your reason for being involved and devoting so much time for $0?
When I first started out, I was just one of the thousands of people just posting crap on there, checking out the madness, and then I was posting or commenting frequently and stuff, and Bunny needed some help, so she's like, "Hey, seem like you're kind of on the same page with mentality and everything. So would you want to be a moderator?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!"
You didn't know what you were even talking into.
I was like,
when you joined as moderator, how many people were in the group?
I don't know, maybe half of what we have
Maybe
now.
10 grand.
Yeah. I'm not real sure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think when I joined there was 5,000 or 6,000 people total.
And it was only a year and a half ago, which is insane, but it's grown very rapidly.
Yeah.
1 second you were at 2,000 and now you're at 11. It's very sporadic and insane.
Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like both of you, I guess, do you guys see this and do you see operating Cambridge's Finest as an act of public service?
That's a tough one. That sounds like, I don't know. It feels wrong to call it that,
Does it though?
I
The way you guys describe it and your mentality of how you're accepting posts, the type of content you really want to see on there, with some exceptions and some fun and some chaos.
Right.
But like in general, I don't know, your philosophy screams to me like we operate this platform as a way to give something to the community. And what else is public service other than giving something?
That's true. I think I just struggle with the fact sometimes that like it's as big as it is.
Yeah.
And like I have to think about that sometimes. Like I sit back and I'm like, what did I do? What is this? So I mean, yeah, I guess in a way, yeah, that's probably true. It's just hard to fathom sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like a television, you know, you got your entertainment programs, you got your news programs, you got your, you know,
Dramas.
yeah, drama.
Yeah. Well,
So it's like, there's so many different, you know, you can flip through, okay, I wanna be in the middle of a little bit of drama today, so I'm gonna post anonymously on this post and see if I can get anybody up in arms.
Rile them up.
So,
but I mean, like you said, it's kind of an all-in-one.
yeah,
That's a part of that all-in-one. To me, there's certainly a public service component to it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Yeah.
It's like the best of both worlds. We get the drama and everything, and then we help people too, and that's just the best.
Yeah, it's really great to be able to, have a place to do that for people. And, we don't do buying and selling either. So, people are really like, hey, I don't need this anymore. Does anybody need this? Or, hey, I'm looking for this. Does anybody have one they don't want anymore? Just sitting around if you're trying to get out. I think that's great. And, I've been yelled at for, why can't I sell myself on this page? But it's just like, that's not what I'm about. And frankly, I don't want to deal with deals gone bad, like, that has money involved. Nope, if you got something you don't want, you can give it away.
There's
That's fine.
something literally called Facebook Marketplace. It's on the same app.
You know how many Cambridge groups there are for buying and selling?
I'm sure.
Now, I know mine has the most pull. I was told that. It was like, yours has the most pull. I want to propose my thing here. I'm like, okay, I get you, but like, I'm sorry. I just...
If you let one, you'd have to let them all, and then it would just be like,
it would be flooded.
overrun with for sale posts.
Yep,
Yeah. Very much so.
wrong direction. Don't want to go that way.
Wrong direction. No buying and selling.
Yeah.
That's not going to be happening. We're going to limit as much political speech as we can.
Yeah.
And we're just going to stay, if we can, if you all can, a welcoming place for chaos and public information.
Yeah. I think it's the best of both worlds of our town. I truly do. We got the older people that come here for like a retirement town and they're wanting information and they're wanting to know what events are going on and where they can do this or that. You got the people that, the other half of the town that are just unhinged. And they need a place too. We don't discriminate. They need a place too.
No gentrification taking place in Cambridge's finest. Well, I really thank you guys for coming on today. I have a few questions that I've been asking at the end of all these podcasts that I want to ask you guys, and you guys will have great insight on this because of all that you see. So the first two are local, and the last question is very philosophical.
Okay.
First question. What is wrong with Cambridge? What is missing in Cambridge? Wrong, missing, however you want to take that. Whatever synonym you want to put in there, you can use. It's fine.
You first.
I would say things for the youth to do, like no more bowling alley. I don't know.
It's another inside joke within Cambridge sign.
But I think we need a lot more stuff for kids to do.
Yeah.
The movie theater's great, but I know when I was younger and the bowling alley was still open, that was a fun thing that we could do. You didn't have to bowl. You could just go there and hang out with friends. You could
They have
play
the arcade there too.
arcade, pool table. I know there's a few pool halls in the area, and I think they're trying to, or they have opened up like an arcade.
Midtown Market's coming soon. It's gonna have
right
some
down
of
from
those.
Kennedy's. I
Yeah,
think.
gonna have some of those components.
Yeah, so that'll help a lot, but we still need more stuff for kids to do.
Yeah. You know, ever since I was a teenager, we went to Walmart for fun.
Yeah.
We'd go late at night, so we were teenagers, you know, we'd take our cars and go to Walmart and just, you know, not be the best at Walmart, not our best behavior. Because,
You don't say, huh?
that's what we had to do. We would go, when it was 24 hours, it's not anymore, it's really sad. I was there almost at close last night and I was like, dang, I wish they had the 24 hours back. But anyway, yeah, I was a kid. That's what we did. We went riding around in our cars, being stupid on the road, and at Walmart. I remember we used to get like blowhorns and just set them off at Walmart, and it would be like we were chaos. But yeah, more outlets for kids because that's what you end up with is kids just running around Walmart being heathens.
Yeah. I definitely see that, and you see that in Cambridge's Finest come up a ton on what's missing, what's wrong, what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely some of that. Okay, totally flip the script. What's the best part about living in Cambridge, Guernsey County? What do we do right? What's the best thing?
Well, I think for the most part it's very pretty. It's decorated well, especially during Christmas. While wax figures are creepy, I'm not a fan of them. I like that we decorate our downtown. It's really nice. And I have a lot of family here, like a lot. Before Cambridge's Finest, I wasn't very well known by anyone because I don't have the last name as the rest of my family does in town. It's a very big family. There's a lot of us. My mom had 24 brothers and sisters.
Whoa.
That's the number she told me, by the way. I just, I don't, it may have been.
At that point, you kind of lose track. She might just be guessing.
I don't know half of my family. But I know a lot of them live here. So, I know the ones that I do know, I know they're around. Not that I don't really talk to my family a lot, but it just feels like home. It feels homey because this is just where I grew up, It's where everyone is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we're still a small town on the grander scale of things. So it's still kind of small and close knit, even though a lot of people on the site I don't know, but we're still a close knit community, and that's what I like.
You can get help when you need it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I was in 2 big cities before I moved back, and it's been great being back. And there's things that I didn't know that I missed until I had them back, and I was like, dang, I miss walking down the street with my dog and having the mayor honk his horn and wave at me. Like,
feel like a village.
Yeah, like wow. Like that is just, it's just little things like that just make you feel known and supported and not like just a number or a random person. So yeah, I agree. That's definitely something we do right. All right, last one. And you can take this another one. You can take this however you want to take it. It's very philosophical. But to each of you, what is the most important resource in the entire world?
I think probably communication with people in the public and being able to be heard. I think that's a big deal. Definitely having that platform to be able to speak your mind, I think is super important.
Oh well, I'm gonna channel my inner hippie and say love.
Love.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I've gotten similar answers. Yeah, I've gotten similar answers from kind of everyone who's been on this so far. It's all very people centric.
Yeah.
Which that's my answer always is it's people. It's some version of people.
We run things. We run the world. If people ever that's what we got.
Yeah. I mean, what other purpose is there in even living this if we're not, if we don't have each other?
Right. We try. We try. A little divided sometimes, but it's there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times those divisions are just people's odd way of expressing care.
Yeah.
When you really boil it down, like if you boil down everyone's frustration with how other people live their lives.
Yeah.
A lot of times do they just care about that person? So, and it's an odd way for them to express it
It's like
through
bullying,
hate, but
as bullying in schools and stuff. Just like they're just jealous of you, or whatever, like, you know, it's kind of the same concept.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you all so much
Thank you.
for coming down today, down to the
Thank you.
office.
Reaching out.
And you're welcome. And I feel like a celebrity getting to sit in the same room as you all for like you all.
You're like,
Yeah. I know you said you were nervous. I was like, what are you
I
nervous
am
for?
nervous.
We're just gonna talk. We're just talking.
You know what I do? I sit at home for the most part.
Yep.
And I'm on my phone a lot. So actually going out and making this like into a real thing where I'm actually talking about it outside of my house is strange. So a little nerve-wracking.
Well, I thank you for breaking the social anxiety that you were feeling, coming down and talking about it.
It was fun.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And maybe this is another direction you all could take Cambridge's Finest. Maybe you could have a little podcast yourself on what's going on in the community.
We've thought about it. I have some ideas. I haven't quite.
Oh, here we go. Here's the scoop. This is what I was looking for.
There's some things coming. So there's a lot of people that they want to do this themselves. They want to overlap me and do this themselves. So I try to keep all of that like under wraps until I'm like ready to do it.
Yeah.
I haven't brought it up to Jeremy and Steve yet. I talked to my husband about it. He said it was a good idea. So there's things coming.
Good. There we go.
We're thinking outside the box, you know. I'm trying to make it as fun as I possibly can.
Good.
You know, for everyone involved.
That's great. That's
We'll
great.
talk about that later.
Off camera.
Yeah, off
We're
camera.
not giving away proprietary information.
Secret for now.
All right. Well, thank you all again. And
Thanks for having us.
you're very welcome. Maybe we'll do it again here in a year.
We'll get Steve in here next time.
Yeah.
Try to get Steve. Steve's a busy man, like
We
I
can pull him
said.
away from his yard.
Yeah, well, seriously, we could do one in his yard maybe in a year or so. When the weather's nice, we'll go
Probably
chill in
mowing
his
right
yard.
now.
Yeah.
He better not be.
Oh, he better not be.
He
You know what?
turned us down, so he better not be mowing.
It's his yard. It's his yard. It's his yard.
All right, thank you all.